My dear friends, life is an interesting journey, isn't it? When we were young, our energy seemed endless. We could run, lift, jump, and play without even thinking twice. But as time passes, the same body that once climbed mountains now finds it difficult to climb stairs. The same hands that could carry grocery bags effortlessly now feel tired after holding a teacup for too long. Somewhere along the way, we start believing that growing old means growing weak. But let me ask you something. Is age really the problem? Or is it the attitude that comes with it? Because I've seen 60-year-olds with the energy of 30 and year olds who already feel like they've reached the finish line. After 60, our body naturally begins to lose muscle. It's called sarcopenia, a fancy word for something very simple. We lose strength, we lose vitality, we lose confidence. But the beautiful truth is, this loss is not destiny. It's just a wake up call, a reminder that our body still listens to us if we speak to it the right way. Every morning, we wake up and reach for that comforting cup of coffee. It's more than a drink, it's a ritual, a quiet moment of peace before the day begins. But what if I told you that this same cup could become your ally in reversing muscle loss? That something so small, so simple, could begin to rebuild what time has taken away? No, I'm not talking about magic powders or miracle pills. I'm talking about a mindset, a commitment, and yes, a tiny addition to your morning routine that could change the way you age. You see, your coffee can be more than a source of caffeine, it can become a symbol of care. Add a scoop of protein, a dash of collagen, a sprinkle of strength. Because every sip you take can be a message to your body. I am still here. I still care. I am still strong. We live in a time where people are obsessed with looking young. But my friends, looking young is not the same as feeling strong. A wrinkle on the face doesn't matter if there's a smile behind it. What truly matters is the energy in your step, the sparkle in your eyes, and the strength in your spirit. Strength is not about lifting weights, it's about lifting yourself. When we say, I'm too old to start, we're actually saying, I've given up on myself. But life doesn't retire at 60. Wisdom matures, love deepens, and purpose becomes clearer. Your muscles may have weakened, but your willpower has only grown stronger. So, add that extra step in your day. Walk a little more, stretch a little longer, lift a little weight, eat protein-rich food, sleep peacefully, and drink your coffee with a sense of purpose. The body is like a loyal friend. It may slow down, but it never stops responding to care. When you take care of your muscles, you're not just building physical strength, you're building confidence. Because when your body feels capable, your mind feels unstoppable. You stand taller, think clearer, and smile brighter. You stop fearing aging and start embracing living. Remember, it's not the years in your life that matter, it's the life in your years. Don't count how old you are, count how strong you feel. And every morning, when you sip that coffee, let it remind you, I am still capable of change. So, my dear friends, let's not let time decide how strong we can be. Let's make a small promise to ourselves today to move a little, to nourish a little, and to believe a lot. Because even after 60, life is not slowing down. It's inviting you to rise again, stronger, wiser, and more alive than ever before. My dear friends, we often believe that aging is a downward slope, a journey where strength fades, energy declines, and the body becomes fragile. But that's not entirely true. The real change does not begin in the body, it begins in the mind. When we say, I'm too old for this, the body listens and agrees. When we say, I can still do this, the body listens too and responds. The truth is simple yet powerful. Your age is not your limitation, your mindset is. There are people in their 30s who complain of back pain, fatigue, and weakness, and there are people in their 60s who wake up before sunrise, walk miles, and radiate energy. What separates them is not their years, it's their attitude. The human body is an incredible creation, it adapts to the signals we send it. If we feed it thoughts of decline, it will slow down. If we feed it thoughts of growth, it will rise again. As the years go by, we start accepting weakness as normal. Of course, I'm tired, I'm getting old, I can't lift that, my body won't allow it. Exercise, that's for young people. Slowly, we hand over our power to excuses. And then one day we look in the mirror and realize that the person looking back is not who we used to be. But what we forget is that the person in the mirror is still us, capable, alive, and waiting to be reawakened. The most inspiring people I've met are not those who have never aged, but those who have refused to surrender to it. I once met a man in his 70s who had just started strength training. When I asked him what motivated him, he smiled and said, I didn't want to spend the rest of my life watching TV from a recliner. He understood something powerful, that muscles don't just move the body, they move the spirit. Every repetition he lifted wasn't just building strength in his arms, but in his mind. You see, age has a way of testing us. It whispers doubts, it challenges endurance, it slows the pace. But what it cannot take away is our will. If the mind is determined, the body follows. The moment we decide that aging is not a decline, but a transformation, something shifts within us. We stop seeing ourselves as fragile and start seeing ourselves as evolving. Strength doesn't disappear with years. It just needs a little reminder to return. We often underestimate the power of small changes. A few minutes of movement every morning, a simple walk after dinner, a handful of nuts instead of sweets. These are not grand gestures, but they create a ripple effect. Consistency, not intensity, revives the body. The problem is not that our muscles grow old, it's that our determination retires early. I once read that the difference between growing old and growing stronger is a single thought. I can. Those two words carry immense power. When you start believing that your body still has potential, your energy shifts. You stand a little taller, you walk with a little more confidence, and your face glows with a renewed sense of purpose. The mind, after all, is the greatest gym, and your thoughts are the weights you lift every day. It's fascinating how much of our energy is drained by fear. Fear of injury, fear of failure, fear of what others will say. But those fears exist only until you take the first step. The first day of exercise may feel hard, but so did your first day of school, your first job, your first challenge in life. You didn't give up then. Why give up now? Every challenge you faced before has prepared you for this one too. Aging is not an obstacle, it's an opportunity to rediscover discipline, patience, and self-love. We must remember that aging gracefully doesn't mean surrendering quietly. It means living fully, with awareness and gratitude. The body may slow down, but the soul never does. When you decide to take care of yourself, not for vanity, but for vitality, you honor the life you've been given. Because the real tragedy is not in growing old, but in giving up before your time. So, when you wake up tomorrow morning and look in the mirror, don't count the wrinkles or the gray hair. Look into your eyes and remind yourself, strength is still there, waiting for your permission to return. The body will always follow the belief you feed it. If you tell it that you are old and tired, it will obey. But if you tell it that you are alive and capable, it will surprise you with what it can do. The secret to reversing weakness after 60 does not lie in medicine alone. It lies in mindset, in movement, and in the unshakable belief that it's never too late to become strong again. Every morning begins with a ritual. A quiet moment, a cup of coffee in hand, and the world still half asleep. That first sip feels like warmth, energy, and familiarity. It's a habit we've carried for years, maybe decades. But in that very cup lies an opportunity, an invitation to turn an ordinary routine into a powerful act of self-care. Because the truth is, your daily habits decide your vitality. The choices you make in the smallest moments create the biggest impact over time. We often underestimate the power of what we do repeatedly. It's not the grand gestures, but the consistent ones that shape our body and mind. The food we eat, the sleep we allow ourselves, the movement we commit to, the thoughts we nurture. These quiet habits silently write our future. If every morning we begin the day by choosing energy instead of exhaustion, nourishment instead of neglect, we can literally change the direction in which we're aging. Think about it, we never forget our morning coffee. No matter how busy the day gets, no matter where we are, that cup always finds its place. Now imagine instead of just caffeine, it also carried something that builds strength. A scoop of protein, a touch of collagen, a pinch of wellness. It's not about fancy supplements or complex routines. It's about making a conscious decision to feed your body what it truly needs. The same 5 minutes you already spend could become the start of a transformation. After 60, the body doesn't ask for miracles, it simply asks for consistency. Muscles need nourishment just as much as they need movement. Most people think exercise is the key, but nutrition is half the story. Every sip, every bite, every choice either builds you or breaks you. By adding something small and powerful to your morning coffee, you're sending your body a message. I haven't forgotten you. I still care for your strength. That message repeated daily is how vitality returns. It's incredible how easily we take our habits for granted. We wake up, we drink coffee, we rush into the day, and somewhere along the way we stop noticing how we feel. Fatigue becomes normal, stiffness becomes expected, and weakness becomes accepted. But none of these are mandatory signs of aging, they are often signs of neglect. Your body is waiting for you to give it what it needs. When you begin to infuse small acts of care into familiar routines, you start reversing years of decline, one mindful moment at a time. We must learn to see our daily rituals as opportunities for renewal. The same coffee that gives you energy can also become a source of restoration. You don't need to change your lifestyle drastically, just enhance what you already do. Add good protein to rebuild muscles. Add a mindful breath before your first sip to calm your mind. Add gratitude for the new day. These are not complicated steps, but they create a rhythm that reawakens strength from within. And it's not just about what you put in your cup, it's about what you put in your day. The small walks you take, the stretches you do while waiting for water to boil, the choice to climb stairs instead of using the lift, they all add up. The body thrives on repetition. The same way bad habits drain us over time, good habits rebuild us. A strong body is not built in a gym alone, it's built in the tiny, consistent choices we make from morning till night. Many people believe that after a certain age, it's too late to make changes. But the body has an extraordinary ability to adapt and recover at any age. The moment you start giving it proper nourishment, it responds with gratitude. Energy improves, muscles respond, and mood elevates. That one habit, like enriching your morning coffee with nutrients, may seem small, but it triggers a chain reaction. It sets the tone for the entire day. You feel motivated to eat better, move more, and think positively. One change leads to another, and slowly, strength becomes your new normal. We spend much of our lives seeking big solutions while ignoring small disciplines. The truth is, transformation is not a leap, it's a gentle climb. Each day is a chance to rise a little higher. When you choose to make your morning ritual purposeful, you are reclaiming your vitality one sip at a time. You are telling your body that you still want to participate in life fully, not just watch it pass by. Our daily habits are like quiet teachers. They teach us commitment, patience, and care. They remind us that health is not a destination, it's a relationship. And like any relationship, it grows stronger when we pay attention to it. So, that cup of coffee you hold every morning is not just a drink, it's a moment of choice. It can be ordinary, or it can be the start of extraordinary change. Every small, intentional habit you add today builds the strength you'll stand on tomorrow. True youth has very little to do with the color of your hair or the smoothness of your skin. It has everything to do with the light in your eyes, the energy in your steps, and the meaning that drives your days. When we are young, we move naturally. We run, dance, lift, stretch, and play without thinking twice. But as we grow older, we start slowing down not just physically, but mentally. We convince ourselves that rest means safety and that stillness means peace. Yet, the truth is that stillness without purpose leads to stiffness, and inactivity steals the very life we're trying to preserve. True youth comes from movement and meaning. Movement is not just an act of the body, it is an act of the spirit. When you walk, your thoughts move too. When you stretch, your confidence expands. When you lift something heavy, you're not just lifting weight, you're lifting self-belief. The human body is designed for motion, and when we stop moving, it forgets how capable it truly is. Muscles weaken, joints stiffen, and energy fades. But the moment you start moving again, even gently, even slowly, your body begins to remember. It remembers strength, balance, rhythm, and life. Every step you take, no matter how small, tells your body, I'm still here, I still want to grow. And when you add meaning to that movement, when you walk not just to burn calories but to clear your mind, when you stretch not just to stay flexible but to express gratitude for the gift of mobility, your actions transform from mere exercises into acts of worship. You are not just keeping your body alive, you are keeping your spirit awake. There is a difference between being alive and feeling alive. Many people exist, but few truly live. And living, my friends, begins with purpose. Purpose gives direction to your movement. Without it, even the strongest body feels tired. With it, even the weakest body finds strength. Meaning gives the mind a reason to wake up with enthusiasm and go to bed with peace. It connects your physical health to your emotional well being. When you do something that matters, even something as small as caring for a plant, playing with your grandchildren, helping a neighbor, or learning a new skill, your body responds with vitality because your soul feels alive. Aging gracefully doesn't mean becoming passive, it means becoming conscious. It means knowing that your actions, your attitude, and your attention all shape the quality of your life. You may not be able to control the number of your years, but you can certainly control the energy you bring into them. A life filled with purpose keeps the heart young. You start noticing beauty again, in the sunrise, in a smile, in the laughter of loved ones. This appreciation itself becomes a form of movement, it stirs emotions, memories, and joy within you. When people retire, they often stop not just working but also living actively. Their schedule empties, and with it, their motivation. But retirement was never meant to be an end. It's an invitation to redirect your time and energy toward what fulfills you. Maybe it's gardening, painting, mentoring someone younger, or simply walking by the sea. Whatever it is, it should keep you moving, in body and in heart. When meaning fuels your movement, even simple routines feel sacred. We must also learn to connect movement with mindfulness. When you walk, notice your surroundings, your breath, your heartbeat. When you eat, be aware of the nourishment you're giving yourself. When you rest, let it be peaceful, not lazy. Living with awareness gives depth to every action. It turns ordinary days into extraordinary experiences. You start to see that strength isn't about how much you can lift, but how deeply you can live. And in this process, gratitude becomes your best companion. Gratitude for a body that still moves, for lungs that still breathe, for legs that still walk. Instead of focusing on what time has taken, celebrate what time has left you with. Every moment of movement, every expression of meaning becomes a celebration of life. You realize that youth was never lost, it was only waiting for you to rediscover it through purpose and motion. When we combine physical activity with emotional purpose, something magical happens. The mind becomes lighter, the body stronger, and the heart fuller. You stop chasing youth in appearance and start creating it in attitude. You begin to live not as someone trying to delay aging, but as someone determined to embrace living. Because youth is not a phase of life, it is a flame that movement and meaning keep alive within you. My dear friends, as we come to the end of this journey together, let us pause and reflect on what truly matters. Life after 60 is not a time to withdraw, it is a time to awaken. It is a chapter filled with wisdom, experience, and quiet strength. The years behind us have shaped us, taught us, and refined us. But the years ahead still hold immense potential, waiting for us to meet them with courage and care. The decline that so many fear is not inevitable, it is often the result of inattention. When we begin to nurture our body, our mind, and our heart, we discover that age has never been our enemy, indifference has. The truth is simple. Strength is not lost with time, it is lost with neglect. But the beauty of life is that strength can always be rebuilt. Every sunrise brings with it another opportunity to choose vitality over resignation. The power to change doesn't disappear with age, it matures with understanding. When you take responsibility for your health, not as a burden but as a blessing, your body responds with gratitude. The muscles you rebuild, the energy you regain, and the confidence you restore become proof that it is never too late to begin again. We often think of care as something we give to others, our children, our families, our communities, but we forget that we must also care for ourselves. Self care is not selfish, it is sacred. It is a promise you make to yourself that you will not let your years define your spirit. By adding something as simple as nourishment to your morning coffee, by taking that walk in the fresh air, by stretching a little every day, you are sending a message to your body and soul. A message that says, I choose life, I choose strength, I choose to thrive. These small decisions may seem ordinary, but they become extraordinary when done with awareness and love. As we grow older, our body may slow down, but our spirit never needs to. Each movement we make, no matter how gentle, keeps that spirit alive. Movement is not just about physical strength, it's a celebration of life itself. Every step, every breath, every stretch becomes an act of gratitude. And gratitude, my friends, is the foundation of happiness at any age. When you move with awareness and live with purpose, you begin to feel younger, lighter, and more alive. Your body might be 60, 70, or even 80, but your heart feels timeless. Purpose gives power to every action. Without purpose, even the healthiest body feels empty. With purpose, even a tired body feels renewed. Find something that gives meaning to your days. A hobby, a connection, a cause, or a simple routine that brings joy. Purpose is the fire that keeps the heart young. When you wake up in the morning with a reason to move, the body responds with energy and the mind with clarity. You are not just adding years to your life, you are adding life to your years. Every person has a choice to watch life fade away slowly or to participate in it fully. The body listens to the mind, and the mind listens to the heart. When all three are in harmony, age becomes nothing more than a number. You start living with enthusiasm again. You smile more often. You appreciate small blessings. You begin to see that growing older is not a loss, it is a gift, a chance to live with more meaning, more gratitude, and more depth than ever before. And so, my dear friends, let us not fear the passing of time. Let us instead embrace it as an opportunity to rewrite the story of our later years. Let us choose habits that heal, thoughts that uplift, and movements that strengthen. Let us remind ourselves that the same body that once carried us through our youth can still carry us through the rest of our journey, if only we care for it with respect and intention. There will always be days when energy feels low or motivation seems distant. But on those days, remember this: every small step counts. Every cup of coffee enriched with nourishment, every mindful breath, every stretch, every walk, every act of kindness toward your body is a declaration that you are still alive, still capable, still strong. Aging does not mean fading, it means shining with a different kind of light, one that is softer, wiser, and infinitely more beautiful. So, as you leave here today, carry with you this message: you are not past your prime, you are standing in a new season of strength. The power to change, to rebuild, to feel young again lies not in years but in choices. Wake up each morning with gratitude, move with purpose, and live with joy. Add care to your daily rituals, add meaning to your movements, and add love to your living. Because no matter what your age, life is still inviting you to rise, to move, and to shine stronger and brighter than ever before.